Story in 5 words. Biden getting revenge against Nancy. Mackie, in a soon-to-be-released interview, President Biden endorsed a ban on congressional stock trading, saying nobody in Congress should be able to make money in the stock market while they're in Congress. Could this be his way of getting back at Nancy Pelosi, whose husband, Paul, has made a bajillion dollars in the stock market?
I think so, and it's very suspicious because Paul Pelosi is one of the greatest stock traders in history, and he's a terrible driver. I'm a great driver, and I bought Blockbuster Video in 2009. I just think Congress should have to follow the same rules as the rest of us. Like, I can't tamper with witnesses. I can't get pulled over for DUI and say, "Officer, I'm going to write for Greg Gutfeld." I can't get handsy with someone at a theater performance of Beetlejuice. Unless Lauren Boebert returns my calls. It just seems like there's one set of rules for Congress and then another for me and George Santos.
Shannon, there's a bipartisan proposal to ban trading by members of Congress and their families. Hasn't gotten a vote yet. What do you think the likelihood of it happening is?
There's a lot of talk about it, and then it never gets across the finish line. And by the way, former Speaker Pelosi has opposed that on numerous occasions. And her people say she doesn't own any stocks and that she has no prior knowledge of any of the trades that he makes. And then the media is like, okay, end of story. There is no follow-up question. Tyra says you would like a follow-up question. And when I'm not here, I do a little thing called covering the Supreme Court. And I would say when something happens with a Supreme Court spouse, people go crazy on the justice. There are numerous in-depth pieces on Justice Alito and flags that have flown over his numerous homes because if his wife does something, he's automatically responsible for it. It doesn't seem to work that way with Paul Pelosi.
Yeah, Jamie, is Paul Pelosi maybe just a really good guesser?
Not all the time.
Kat,
Not all the time.
When I'm not here, I do a little thing called waiting till it's my turn to come back here. Paul, I think we have to say it is possible that Nancy, she is married to him, but it is possible she didn't know. I think that's a fair thing to say. It's possible. Like, for instance, my ex-wife was trading bodily fluids with someone else, and I had no idea that. She eventually traded me for another man. I'm just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I just saw a man in the audience emphatically shake his head. Not just like, are you okay, sir? Okay.
That's a more common reaction to my stuff than laughter. Paul is good, though. I feel like he does use every little thing he gets to make. Like, me and my ex were at a party once, and we met Paul Pelosi, and the next day, he bet $5 million we'd get divorced. And I heard he talked to Gutfeld once and heard he was having a new show on the air, and then he sold all of his Colbert and Kimmel stock the very next day. I don't know. It's this should be illegal. It's disgusting. He should be punished. I'm with Trump. He should face punishment.
Tyrus, do you think this is about Nancy? Do you think this is getting back at Nancy for pushing him out?
It's not necessarily about Nancy because Nancy and the Democrats took away the influence that the Biden family no longer has. So they can no longer sell influence. They can't go to a foreign entity and be like, my dad's the president, and they'll be like, the guy who can't speak and remember, yeah, we're good. But it's a little too late, okay? Like, it's shocking that Biden's like, yeah, they shouldn't be able to do. They're already up $250 billion, whatever the amount of money is that they're making each year. Oh no, we won't do it anymore. Like, how much money do they? If the only problem is her husband needs to make better choices in the men he meets than his financial.
Shannon, do you think any legislation should also ban the spouses?
Well, that's a tricky thing because there are limits on what they can do, but then people will say, oh, it's in a blind trust or it's my spouse. We don't ever discuss things. And like I said, in Washington, that works in one way. If it's a couple that are Democrats or more liberal, people will think that the women and men in a marriage or men and men, women, whatever their partnership is, that they can think independently, but they don't apply the same rules to conservatives.
I don't care what party you're in. If I made $250 million, she would have something to say to me when I got home.
Guaranteed.
Cam just had a great day at work, made $3 billion, and it just didn't come up at dinner.
I actually do stop listening when he brings up numbers. I can't listen. I physically can't listen.
Paul Pelosi did better than Biff from Back to the Future when he went back in time with the almanac. He's making better wagers.
All right, coming up, my favorite story. Can getting bombed help you bury your mom?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.